Alright, hello. Q&A number 3. I wasn't expecting this one to actually work, but I got a fair amount of questions. A lot of them are really fucking silly, but at this point I don't care. I'll just answer silly questions, it's fine. Alright, starting from the bottom, working our way back up. Jacob says, are you going to finish those video topics? No, because, as I said, part of it was because my motivation on that day was really off. But I think part of it was also the topic itself. They weren't necessarily bad, but they were just topics that I didn't feel like I needed to talk about, kind of. If you want to know, one of them was about Victoria's Secret going woke. But I didn't... Oh, no, sorry. Victoria's Secret going woke and then reversing that idea because they lost all their money. And, for example, that's a great topic, right? The kind of shit I cover. But at the same time, though, I felt like I was just repeating the same shit over and over and over again, which I often do. I'm not denying that, but this particular time, I just didn't feel like doing that. So yeah, there is that, and two others. I'll make something else at some point, but I'm not gonna remake those particular videos that I was doing. This is not a question. Where would you go if you could travel anywhere in the world? This is tough. There's a lot of places I want to go. Just to see, though, I'd like to see Italy, France. I don't know. Like, I'm not a huge traveler, to be honest with you. Right at the top of my head is Italy. Well, that's without even thinking. But when it comes to vacations, just in general, I'm much more of a relaxer vacationer as opposed to a explorer. I'm not the kind of person who really cares to see all the landmarks in different countries and get involved with the culture. I'm more of the kind of guy who wants to sit on the beach and eat some food and drink. I like to relax, which means that my favorite thing in the world is cruises. I've only been on one cruise in my life. You guys saw the video of it. And that was the best vacation ever. A lot of people would hate cruises because you're stuck on a boat and you can't explore the country, because it's a boat. But for me personally, a guy who likes to relax, eat, drink, and sleep, and swim, a cruise ship is the best. Plus, I also just, in general, love being on boats. I love being on the water, looking down at the water. I love all that. So, I don't really care where the cruise ship is going, or if it's docking at a certain country. I just like to be on a cruise ship. And yes, I will read all of John's trolling. Funny you think you do real mental work because you think DNA is the best evidence, and it causes you to do zero thinking. Okay, so I don't know if I should just laugh or actually react to John. It's a Q&A, fuck it, I'll react to John. So, DNA evidence is the most important because it's literally science. And, yeah, that doesn't mean that you can't think on your own, find patterns, coincidences, use logic, common, rare sense, etc. But yes, obviously scientific proof is better than all the other stuff. It's not saying that this is not useful, it's just saying that science is probably a little better. And yeah, as for your theory, everybody, including John, knows how I think about it, so I'm not going to bother with that again. This also comes from John. Do you trust the science about COVID? Do you understand DNA is a science? One at a time. Do you trust the science about COVID? No, because the science that the media is showing is not real science. It's the trademark science that the mainstream media is trying to push, and the government, but it's not the actual science. Not sure if you're aware, John, or anybody watching this video. I already made a video on this. It's on my BitChute, but I'll say it here because I don't think I'll get banned, hopefully. But every doctor who came out against COVID was shut down. They lost their license, all that shit. So, yeah, COVID is primarily pushed by politics as opposed to actual science. Do you understand DNA as a science? So here we have another example of John's usual projection. Let me ask the proper question. Do you know that DNA is a science? Because you're the one who denies DNA evidence of Michael Jackson, so that would mean you're the one who doesn't know that DNA is science. Okay. Anyway, next question. Who is your favorite and least favorite member of MLC and why? Jesus Christ, what has Johnny done? So, I need to put this to rest. The whole thing about being a member of MLC doesn't exist. Okay? Johnny did that 2 times with 2 different people. I think it was Dom and Justice. It may have been someone else, I can't remember. But he only did it once or twice. where he was like giving people an orientation to join MLC. That doesn't exist. Everybody stop. MLC is not, well, technically, okay, so here's the thing. It's ran by a certain number of people, but that doesn't make it a group. I'll explain what I mean. So it is ran by the 5 primary guys who run the YouTube channel and are on the streams most often, which is me, Julian, Johnny, Jake, and Joey. Okay? But that's only because we're the ones who created it. So I created the streams like as a whole. Julian created the channel and paid for StreamYard, and we all take turns hosting. But in terms of who comes on to talk to us, it's not like a membership. You don't have to ask permission. We're not like a group where you have to like join something or do an orientation, and that doesn't exist. That was a joke Johnny made that apparently 4 people that I know of took seriously, and now I'm like, oh my god. If people want to be on the stream, either to type in the chat or talk to us face to face, all you do is go to the description, click the link, the StreamYard link, and join. That's it. You don't have to say, can I join? You just show up. So there's no membership, and therefore I don't have a most or least favorite person. Even if you are talking about the 5 main guys, I'm not going to answer that because that's just not fair to pick a favorite as well as a least favorite. Okay, what do you think about grime music? It's not a genre I'm familiar with. I did listen to a couple songs, and it's not my type of thing. Does your family know about your channel? Yes, actually. Once in a while, my mom will actually message me on Facebook and be like, oh, I saw this video you posted. Why are you saying this and that? So basically, my mom is 76 years old, and I can comfortably say that she's the most ignorant person in the world. And I don't even think it's your typical, like, well, she's a boomer and very set in her ways, and no. It's actually, like, considerably past that. Like, way past that. And by just, she might even see this video, so I'm going to be careful with what I say, because I don't want her to call me and yell at me because I'm not in the mood. But, basically, she trusts the mainstream media with everything. She unironically watches CNN every day, and she unironically watches The View. Yeah, she's one of those women. So she's very, very, very brainwashed by, like, the modern mainstream narrative. Hates Trump because the media told her to. Just all that stuff. Like, no critical thinking skills whatsoever. Her and I occasionally have conversations. Not very often, because I don't visit my parents very often, but occasionally we have conversations where I try to teach her facts, and this is her. If I try to teach her facts and actively show her facts, she goes, no, you're ignorant, no. Like that, and that wasn't an overplay. That's literally what she does. And, oh my god. So, when she watches a video of her own accord, I don't, like, send it to her. Basically, she'll message and go, why do you say this? That's not... And I just go, okay, like, it's not even worth it. She's my mom, but talking to her is a one-way ticket to a migraine. It's really bad. What do they think of it? If not, do you think they would agree with your videos? No. No, from what she's seen, she doesn't agree with anything, because like I said, she's very unaware of the real modern world. As for my dad, he agrees when he and I talk to each other. But I can't say he agrees with the videos, because my dad doesn't watch them. My mom watched them, my dad doesn't. So, does my dad agree with what I, like, just my overall, like, opinions? Most of them. Does he agree with the videos? I wouldn't know, because he hasn't seen them. So I can't really answer that. But I guess, like, half yes, half no. Okay. Honest thoughts on Raymond. Bro, listen. I think you are a cool guy. I think you're a very, very nice guy. But you annoy the hell out of me, bro. You really annoy the shit out of me so much. But I'm not being rude. I've told him that to his face, in person. Just so you guys know, this guy, Raymond, he lives in my city. So, I've seen him before in person, and I told him that. So that's not rude, because he can tell you that himself. Okay. I just came up with the greatest, most outstanding question out of everyone and anyone ever. What's your favorite MJ song? I know this question is meant to be a joke, and I also know that you know the answer because I've said it many times, but Billie Jean is still my favorite MJ song, probably always will be. Thoughts on Greg Fergus? So I think, is that the guy who was the House Speaker? of like Canada when they do like the House of Commons debates. I think that's the House Speaker, right? He's the black guy who was like a hardcore liberal, and whenever they're doing debates, he always takes Trudeau's side and goes against Pierre Poilievre. And I gotta say, like, it's fucking disgusting. How can you have a House Speaker who is supposed to mitigate debates between the right wing and the left wing, but he has a left wing bias? Granted, everybody has a left wing bias today, but it's really fucking stupid because he's supposed to be mediating debates. He shouldn't have any political bias at all, right or left. Now, granted, the only reason he's allowed to do it is because he has a left-wing bias. If he had a right-wing bias, if he had a right-wing bias, he would not be House Speaker. They would ban him for sure. So he's only allowed to do it because he has a left-wing bias. And no, I'm not surprised. I'm actually expecting him to have a left-wing bias. But yeah, it's fucking stupid, and he's an asshole. I don't like him at all. What is your overall opinion about still the ongoing drama of potential leaving Neverland 2? I couldn't care less, but I do hope that he puts me in it again. To be in the spotlight while the MJ biopic drops next year. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I couldn't care less. We know you affiliate with the Conservative Party. Well, I'm aware at the end of this comment, Hunter says, just humor me, because you know that's not true, but I'll just react because other people are watching, right? Okay, so again, just to be clear for the 50th time, I am not right-wing or left-wing. I am technically a registered conservative, only so I can vote for Pierre. That's it. I don't have an actual right-wing bias. I don't hold right-wing beliefs. I don't hold beliefs of any kind that apply to a certain side because I use facts. As I said in the videos, I don't care if the facts align with the right or the left. I just believe in facts no matter what they are. And, yeah, so I don't consider myself of any political side, especially conservatism. But if there happens to be more facts on the conservative side, then yippee, I guess. But yes, I am registered, but only because I can vote for Pierre Poilievre. That's the only reason I registered conservative. And when I did register, I felt fucking dirty, man. It felt dirty when I registered, but I had to if I wanted to vote for Pierre. But anyway, let's go with the question. But if the Liberal Party wasn't so broken, would your affiliation change? Again, so here's the thing. So, like, even if the Liberal Party wasn't corrupt, I still wouldn't become liberal because I don't want to pick a political side anyway. Again, you're calling me conservative, right? Let's say that 90% of the conservative beliefs were factual. Okay, let's say it's 90 fucking percent. I still wouldn't call myself a conservative. Because it's not just about like, well, this side has more factual beliefs, so I'll align with them. No. I don't want to align with a political party ever, regardless of how many positive beliefs they have, how many negative beliefs they're against. They can be anti-SJW, it doesn't matter. I will never pick a political side, no matter what it is. I'm always going to be just the independent free thinker who sits in the middle. You know, it's basically the agnostic version of politics. Okay, that's how it's always going to be for me, no matter what. Let's say that Trudeau's policy was pretty equally beneficial to Canadians as Pierre's policy, just in different ways that would align with more liberal ideas. Which one would you support more? If again, I wouldn't pick Trudeau's side, but what I would say is that if Trudeau said more factual things than Pierre did, I would say I agree with Trudeau because of saying more factual things, but I still wouldn't call myself a liberal. Understand? I guess this is mostly based off of your social values. We all know you don't like labels, but hear me with this question. Okay. What do we got here? Did you ever watch any Angry Grandpa or Angry Grandma videos? I watched Angry Grandpa years ago, but not much. I was never like an avid watcher of his channel. I watched a few videos here and there. What's your thoughts on what's going on with Puff Daddy? I know nothing about it. I did not look into it at all, didn't care enough. Do you watch the Hodge Twins? Nope, I have never watched that show. Wait, show? I'm pretty sure it's actually a YouTube channel, right? I still don't even know if it's a YouTube channel or a TV show. Okay, what is your thoughts on First Amendment auditors? Oh, fuck, these people, I don't know, man, like, what they're doing on the face of it sounds like a good idea, but it's kind of like BLM saying, we care about black people, and then stealing all the donation money. or burning down half of a fucking country. It's one of those things where it's like it's good when you just see the definition, but then when you start researching what they're actually doing, you're kind of like, you kind of look at them like they're BLM or like they're Antifa or like it's CRT. I think a lot of them are deliberately antagonizing cops on purpose just to get the footage. But if they're not, it's obviously a great idea just to make sure that the few, I have to make sure that I say few, because dumb people believe that every cop is a racist piece of shit, even though only like 0.3% are statistically proven. But yeah, if their intention is just to prove that the few cops are horrible, okay. But if they're trying to lie to say that all cops are bad as a way to support BLM, then no. Have you watched Max Mofo's videos? Yes, not for a long time. When he used to make a lot of videos with How to Basic, I used to watch him, so that would have been like 2013, 2012-ish. I found some of his videos funny, but for the most part, they're pretty juvenile, so... Sorry about the coughing, my god. Okay. Who do you think will win the 2024 election in America? Oh boy. I think Trump's gonna win. I think it's silly to think that he won't at this point, because at this point, even the dumb people who voted Biden are starting to turn on him. So, that says a lot. I think it's maybe Trump. Who is your go-to source for news? I don't have one, because part of doing proper research is to not have a go-to. You have to look at every side. I look at conservatives, I look at liberals, I look at independents, I look at YouTubers, I do it myself, I look at fucking everything. And the best way to find real facts, and this is why I'm so smart, part of it anyway, is because I take multiple different sources of many different views and political sides and whatever, and I weigh the information against itself, right? From different sources to see which information lines up the best, which information has the most weight, which information has the most evidence behind it, and we go based on that. But as for a go-to, there is none. However, if you want me to nitpick and say that my go-to are just the YouTube channels I watch the most often, I guess technically the political channel I watch the most would be Mark Dice. Unfortunately, Mark Dice is conservative, but I'll tell you why I watch him. So the negatives are, number one, he's conservative, like hardcore conservative. Number two, he's hardcore religious. And number three, he's against LGBT. As you know, I'm against the plus portion of LGBT, but I'm not against the basic LGBT, because just the regular LGBT people are sane. They're the ones who are like actually gay, lesbian, trans, bi, etc. And it's the plus people who give it the bad name, are totally psychotic, make up all the dumb bullshit. So, but he's against them. He's against all people. Just if you're just gay, he's against you. So those are three major flags against Mark Dice. So, well, why do you watch him, Matt? Because when it comes to news and politics, he's always right. Like, literally always right. Not only has he been right in every single video he's ever made when it comes to politics and news, but he sources stuff. If you watch his videos, again, I'm only talking about news and politics, he sources everything. Like, literally everything. So, when it comes to news and politics, it doesn't matter if he's conservative or not, because he shows evidence. That's what matters. So, news and politics, Mark Dice is one of the best. Everything else, he's kind of an idiot, to be honest. Okay. Which country is your favorite in the world? I haven't visited enough, but I guess from where I have been, I would say Mexico. Who is your favorite YouTuber of all time? Oh, shit. I don't have one. I think I've had different favorites in the past who aren't like YouTubers anymore. I have a lot that I like equally, but favorite, I honestly couldn't tell you. I really like Daz Games. Daz or Darren Black, as his real name is, very famous YouTuber from the UK. I wouldn't say he's my favorite, but I do like him a lot. I think he's extremely funny. I love his gameplay videos, his reaction videos. They're really good. Do you have a number one artist that is not named Michael Jackson? so, so basically, are you asking my second favorite? I don't know because okay. So I like a lot of artists, but I consider a lot of them like basically I have multiple number twos because so I like a lot of artists equally. And when it comes to me picking favorites, like favorite music, favorite artists, I have really high standards, like really high standards. I like most music in general, but when I pick favorites, the thing with me is that they're pretty much all the legends. Pretty much all of them. I'll just list like the major legends in music history. Michael Jackson, Elvis, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, the Mamas and the Papas, Rod Stewart, the Eagles, Phil Collins, there's a whole James Brown. There's a whole bunch more. I like them all very equally. All of the major legends throughout history. I can't put any of them above another. I just love them all. They're all very good. And there is more. I just couldn't think of any right now. But there's a lot more groups and artists that I would have named. Okay. Back to my favorite person in the world. Matt, do you know you were on the brain level of Joey? You both play video games, both dance badly to Michael Jackson, and both make terrible YouTube videos. And John, did you know that you are the most insecure man on the planet? Okay. I'll give you guys a bit of a maybe not everybody, just this lesson's for John. When you insult a person, especially when it's like relentless, like you insult, post comment, another insult, post comment, another insult, post comment. So basically, it's completely unprovoked. Doing it once or twice is not good enough because of your brain. That means you're insecure, because you have such low value within yourself that the only way to make yourself feel better is to just keep insulting over and over and over again. And several flags that make it look even worse is number one, when you keep insulting the same person. Two, the insults are mostly similar. And three, when you do it like over and over and over and over again with no response, because you're trying to get me to respond to you. And I am now because I'm making a fucking video, but the point is, these are all signs of major projection and insecurity and low self-esteem. So, just wanted to let you know that, John. But yeah. Okay. Have you ever been interested in talking about different topics? If so, what did you have in mind? What do you mean exactly? Because I already do. I mean, look at my channel. I already make videos on the real world, politics. I used to make dance videos, Michael Jackson, miscellaneous or personal stuff. You got advice videos. I talk about social media. I talk about the mainstream media. I talk about the government. I talk about life. I mean, I already talk about everything. I'm not really sure what exactly you're referring to by talking about other stuff. I mean, if you want to mention things that I don't talk about, I don't know, I don't talk about sports. Is that what you meant? Because I cover pretty much everything, but outside of what I currently do, I mean, I definitely would. I just don't know what else I would do or what else I could do. Okay, back to John again with his insecurity. Matt, why won't you turn your brain on? What do you think will happen? I think you might turn into a girl. Oh, John, I thought women were dumber than men. Interesting. Okay. Matt, what's it like to live in an icebox in Canada? Bro, it's not cold here anymore. Like, global warming, I don't fucking know. But let me tell you something. Up until about 2018, the winters in Canada, the average was like minus 20. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but in Celsius, it was like minus 20. That used to be our average. But the last 2 years, this year and in last year, the coldest we got the entire winter was like minus 5. And the average was like +1, +2 for the entire fucking winter. I have never in my life seen Canada have a warmer winter ever. It is insane. So, what's weird though is that our winters are getting a lot warmer, but our summers are actually getting colder, which is really bad. I would prefer that winter be cold like it used to be to give us a better summer. But now we have an okay winter and a kind of a crappy summer. Whatever. Okay, and this is the last comment. Okay, your thoughts on the Your thoughts on the Israel-Palestine conflict. Do you know the history and where do you stand? I actually don't. Honestly, I've never looked at the history of this war, why it's happening, etc. It's just something that I just don't know. Never researched it, never cared. Obviously, it's horrible, but I don't know much about like the politics behind it and why it's happening with their government or whatever. So, yeah. Although I have, of course, seen lots of footage of like homes and shit being destroyed, and you see like families broken who have no part in this. But like any war, that's just what happens, and it's disgusting. I just hate the world. Okay. Have you seen the MJ Thriller 40 documentary? So I saw the documentary when it was doing its screening last year, but I did not see the official finished version. But I was told that the screening was a lot better. So when I saw the screening, there was a lot of like victory tour footage, and I was told that on the official release they cut down almost all of it. So apparently I got to see the better version of the documentary. Because, yeah, people are saying that the finished version is bad, but that the screening of Thriller 40 was really, really good, so I'm glad I got to see it. And the leaked MJ biopic photos, no. I'm not going to bother. I'm going to wait until I can actually see the movie. Your thoughts on the documentary and the potential of the biopic. Yeah, documentary I talked about, and biopic, I don't know. I think fans will complain, because they will. Your thoughts on multiculturalism in Western society? It's a good thing generally. Okay, let me rephrase that. I personally don't have a problem with it because I'm not a fucking racist. So I don't have a problem with different cultures around me. But what I have a problem with is what those cultures do. So, for example, over here in Toronto, where it's very multicultural, I don't dislike walking down the street and only seeing brown people. I say that because where I live, there are no white people. I'm the only white person here. It's just brown people here. That's it. It's a little bit frustrating to see my own race basically leaving Toronto, but I don't have an actual issue with it. But what I do have an issue with is the fact that more multiculturalism brings in more crime. It brings in a harder ability to find jobs because in most places, especially here, if you are an immigrant, you're given preferential treatment for jobs. You're given preferential treatment for like renting a home. Like, for example, it's really racist. Like, for example, like if you're trying to apply for a job, but they get a resume that says Hakeem whatever, they will hire him just for being Indian, and I won't be hired just for being white. As for renting, when anybody's looking for like rental ads online, the amount of ads that say Indian only, black only, black only, black only, black only, no white people, no white people, no white people is insane. So the racism is horrible. So the existence of different cultures is not a problem, but the way that people act towards it, the SJW aspect, the racism, that's a problem. So, oh well. So I guess you can say that I don't like it, but I don't like it because of what happens, not because of just the existence of it. But anyway, should Outlanders bring their culture and religion with them to a new country instead of adapting to the country's norm? No, they should not. I love this question because this is I could actually make a dedicated video on this one question. But let me just tell you how much I fucking hate this. So, actually, since I'm not doing a full video, I'm just going to give you the short answer. If I went to India and asked them to adapt to anything of my Canadian values, I would be shot. Straight up, I would be shot. But they can come here, make us change everything, and we have to do it just because they're not white. It's fun shit. Your thoughts on interracial relationships, and they're fine. And do you believe that in the near future the majority of the human race will be mixed race? I think the majority will be mixed race in like 10 years. And I think white people will be wiped out completely in about 60, 70 years. Or will be enslaved because SJWs have already made it clear they actively say this, that they want to enslave white people. So I would say in like 50, 60 years, the human race will probably be just black and like brown people. I think white people will be completely wiped out. Or at the very least, we will no longer be in primarily white countries. Like, for example, countries like Canada or the U.S. or the U.K. will have no more. There'll be no white people here at all, none, and we'll all be forced to migrate to fucking like somewhere in Europe or something like that, and or white people will be enslaved. I think, because that's what the evidence shows. Okay, this was a fun Q&A. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.